Hey guys, well, welcome to another episode of the Maestro. Today we're going to be doing a little bit of a road test on the fabulous BMW M1000Xr. But first, a little word from our sponsors, if you would be so kind. Dad needs a little help here. Thanks. Hello guys, and welcome to another episode of the Maestro. Today we're going to be doing a road test on the incredible M1000Xr. You know, it's pretty amazing, these M bikes that BMW is coming out with now. 40 years ago or whatever it is, they came out with the M division in cars, and their bikes at that time were, quite frankly, a little bit stodgy. I mean, I had old K bikes from the 80s and the 90s and stuff like that, but they really weren't performance machines. They were the touring kind of motorcycles, and they were great at that. But around, I don't know, 2010, they came out with the S1000RR, and everything changed. And about 3 or 4 years ago, somebody came up with the brilliant idea of, hey, we have this M division in cars, and it's really a great marketing tool, and it really produces some incredible cars over the years. Why don't we do the same thing with motorcycles? And lo and behold, they have created some of the greatest motorcycles. You might have seen my video. We did kind of a short little overview video on the M1000Xr, and I've ridden the S1000RR, the latest version, with the M package, and I can tell you what, they are some pretty incredible machines. So today we have the opportunity, and I have the privilege, of throwing a leg over this incredible M1000Xr. So this is a bike that is focused on a sport bike rider who maybe is a little bit older and desires a little bit of comfort, but doesn't want to compromise on out and out performance. And I can tell you that this bike really achieves that goal. So to talk a little bit more about the bike, I'm going to bring in my very special friend. I've known this guy for, I don't know, 40 years. We've been riding together. Come on in, Les. Les is the proud owner, good to see you, of this incredible machine. And Les actually is the guy that taught me how to ride up here on this road. 1988, as a matter of fact, we both found out later on that we lived in the same town, Basin Lakes, New Jersey, this little tiny little town in northern New Jersey. And Les goes, yeah, I lived at Basin Lakes. I'm like, I grew up at Basin Lakes. And so I came out here in 1988, and Les was out here, and he was already a very proficient motorcyclist. And I had a Ninja 900, in 1984, Ninja 900, and I didn't know really what I was doing. I'd been big time into cars and racing cars around the street. I had a Mini Cooper S and MGs and things like that. And so I could apply some of that to motorcycle riding, but I didn't know the dynamics of a motorcycle. And Les says to me, okay, in his inimitable way, follow me. I'm going to go at a pace that you will be able to go at, but it's going to be faster than you've ever gone before, but just stay in my wheel tracks and do what I do. And I'm like, okay. And I remember those first couple of times up here, I was terrified, but I listened to Les and I stayed in his wheel tracks, and after 3 or 4 runs, I started to get like the feel of it and understand it. And then after 2 months or so, I decided, you know what, I feel pretty good. And I passed Les, and we met up here, and he goes, what are you doing? That was incredible. So thank you very much again. I appreciate that. For all you guys who have watched me ride, this is the guy that got me going and got me started. So the other thing we've done is, over the years, we used to do Laguna Seca trips when we saw Eddie Lawson and Wayne Rainey and Kevin Schwantz and all of the greats from back in the day, Bubba Schobert and all those guys.
Kenny Roberts.
We used to run about, like 20 guys.
Yep.
We used to go up on Friday, watch the practice on Saturday, watch the races on Sunday, and then head home on Monday. And it was one of those epic trips that you look forward to all year long. The ride was just as great as the racing. We stayed in this cool little hotel, the Robos del Rio Hotel, up in Carmel Valley in the hills.
In the woods.
And we took over the whole hotel pretty much, and the deer.
Like
and it was just great. So Les has been riding for, I don't know, 50 years, and I've been riding for 40. And he's owned lots of BMWs. He currently owns a GS 1250, I believe, and this XR. So
and an 800.
And an 800R BMW, little commuter.
That's for the back of the RV.
For the back of the RV. So
tell
us a little bit of the XR, why this grabbed your attention. I know you had an older XR before, so take it away.
I had the older XR, and I loved it, and it was really fun, and it was always a challenge to ride, so I liked it a lot. My GS, you feel so comfortable on it, where the XR was more the excitement factor. When it would hit the power factor around 7K RPM, then it would wake up, and all of a sudden, instead of the torque like a GS, you'd feel the horsepower of the inline-four. So it was always a fun factor 10 ride. And so I had seen that this had come out, and I had extreme interest in it because of the fudge factor, because of the M factor. So that made me interested.
Is gorgeous.
Yes.
I mean, it really, they did a phenomenal job.
So when I saw all the reviews in Europe, it kind of woke my eyes up. And then we did a test ride, me and my friend Oba. We did a test ride, and he got the 1300 GS, the new one, and I rode the new 2025 S1000Xr. And so I rode it, and I was okay with it. It was fun, but I had liked the GS better. It was like all of a sudden the GS turned into, instead of the touring off-road bike, it became more of a blur of like a road bike and a touring bike.
Where have we heard that before? I'm not sure.
But so anyhow, so
we love the GS.
I loved the GS, and I was like, oh, I don't know whether I want to buy the GS or the XR. But then I thought about it for 2 days, and on the second day I go, I really like to have the fudge factor of the M bike, to where there was only going to be like 200 of these in the United States. So I figured, I want to be one of those 200. And when I bought it and rode it the first time, I was like, oh boy, was that the right decision.
Yeah.
It is just so easy to ride, so pleasurable ride. The power band is so wide with the shift cams. The shifter is amazingly smooth. It's like shifting butter.
It sounds like you like this bike.
Oh man, I love this bike. It's just, the aesthetics of it is just so beautiful. It's, BMW did such a artwork design on it, with all the carbon fiber, all the billet products, all the billet clutches and the levers, billet mirrors, billet foot pegs, billet shifters, billet stop pedal.
Not to mention 200 horsepower.
And the 201 horsepower definitely wakes you up, but you don't really feel that 201 until it hits around 9,000 RPM.
And then
it's
pull the
blur.
pin.
It's like warp factor 10, Scotty.
Yeah.
We just woke up and it is going. So what's really fun is the dynamic control of how it controls the anti-wheelie and suspension. So it has tons of anti-wheelie stuff. It has tons of suspension adjustments. You can adjust the suspension automatically by going between road and rain and dynamic. And then it has 3 more modes. And in the menu, you can only select 3 modes. You can either do rain, road, or dynamic, or you can go lose the rain mode and go into pro mode, or go into all 3 pro modes.
Right.
So there's 3 pro modes that let you select and manage your suspension tuning yourself. So you can say, I want a harder front end, I want a softer rear end.
Which is incredible, because the old ESA only let you go hard, medium, and soft,
soft,
and that's it.
Soft
And that was
way too soft. You're like, whoa,
right.
whoa,
And
whoa.
medium was okay,
Yeah.
and hard was too hard.
Too hard.
And you couldn't adjust individually the rear and the front. So I really didn't like the ESA because of that. And as a matter of fact, in one of the videos I recommend, if your ESA ever goes bad, don't fix it. Just replace it with Öhlins or something else that would work.
But what they've done with these shocks and with the programming of it, this bike is just so
it's incredible.
Incredible.
I can vouch for that.
Incredible to ride. So one of the cool things in the pro modes, you can set your wheelie mode, so you can say I want to do a 25-degree wheelie, and it won't go higher or lower than 25 degrees. It'll just stay there all day. You can go 15 degrees, 10-degree wheelies, or just keep your traction control on and just keep it down and be a regular citizen. So I know that's hard for some of us to do.
Nobody's ever accused you of that. But so this has, I think, carbon fiber wheels stock from BMW, right?
Which makes it totally amazing to turn.
It transforms the bike.
It loses all that wheel mass, makes it so easy to turn the wheels, to turn left and right. It just, the difference between this bike and the regular S was night and day.
It really is.
It's.
I rode your old S and I liked it, but I wasn't in love with it.
No.
And when I rode this bike, you're going to see at the conclusion video my thoughts on the riding of this bike. But suffice to say, I understood everything that you talked about and why you bought this bike. It really is that good.
So one of the other cool things is you can switch menus on this bike, and you can go from like the stock driving menu to what's called the racing menu.
Okay.
And in the racing menu, you can actually see what the dynamic traction was doing and what your tilt, your angle of tilt shows up, and it shows up how much actual traction control is being employed. So you can really monitor all the functions of what's going on the bike. So it's you know, it takes your attention off the road when you're trying to look at that stuff, but if you've made adjustments in pro mode, you can see what's actually happening. You can actually see when the engine braking is coming in. So it's pretty interesting.
Pretty cool for a tech guy like you.
Yeah.
For me, what really impresses is once you swing your leg over and hit that button and roll down the road, because no matter how many techno gadgets you have, if the bike works, that's what's really important. I can say that this bike works, and you can use this bike. I mean, this would make a strong argument that, look, I know it's a lot of money, but I don't need 3 or 4 bikes anymore. I can do almost everything. I could do a track day on this.
Yes, absolutely.
I could do touring on this. I could do commuting on this. I could do canyon runs on this. I could use it as a coffee getter around town in traffic.
Yep, it's totally tame and it's not loud. The pipe is very, very quiet.
Let's take it down the road and get some impressions on it. I know you're going to let me throw a leg over it, and we'll see you down at the bottom. All right. Thank you, sir. Okay, well, here we go up the crest, and I'm going to follow my old friend at a moderate pace, nothing too extreme. So the BMW M1000Xr, here we go.
Okay, so it's the moment I've been waiting all day for. I get a chance to jump on this incredible M1000Xr, and I'm going at a 7/10 pace, but I can tell you how easily and familiar it was just to get acclimated to this bike. It just does everything right. And so we'll just go down at a 7 or 8/10, maybe probably 7/10 pace on this road. Could have gone way quicker, but it's not my $30,000 bike.
All right, well, here we are back at Clear Creek Ranger Station. We just came down the crest, did 9 Mile, and then the Angeles Forest Highway. And I have to tell you, first of all, thank you very much, Les, for giving me the opportunity to throw a leg over this unbelievable bike. And just a couple of things that we didn't mention in the intro video, and something that I noticed right away is the carbon fiber wheels. When I rode the S1000RR with the M package, it also had carbon fiber wheels, and oh my goodness, what a difference in turn-in, in suspension. It's unbelievable. This is a bike, if I had 2 bikes in the world and they said you can only have 2, I think I would pick this bike. Even though the GS has been my favorite for 25 years, I'd pick this bike over the GS along with the Tuono factory if I can only have 2 bikes. If I can afford this bike, I could probably afford 5 bikes rather than this one. But if you got the money, man, I'll tell you, the shifting is so smooth. The upshift as well as the downshift, it almost feels like an automatic, but you just have to click it with your toe. It's unbelievable. The power has great mid-range from 4,000 to 8,000, and then when you hit 8,000, all hell breaks loose. I mean, it just goes like a scalded cat. And what else? The Akrapovic sounds nice, but it's really nice and quiet. I don't think I'd change it on this bike. This has to be the ultimate sport tourer, and with the emphasis on sport, because let me tell you, I felt so comfortable as soon as I threw my leg over this bike. The suspension is just compliant. You can feel it working. It's firm, but it's not jarring. The steering was just so light, and the front end feel, I could tell exactly where that front end was going. And I came around this corner, there's a couple rocks in the corner. I was able to easily adjust my line, miss the rocks, and then just go back onto the line of the corner. I'll tell you, it's confidence inspiring, it's beautiful, it's fast, it handles well, it's comfortable. What don't I like about this bike?
The cost.
Nothing. I don't like anything about this bike. However, it was still, and these have a reputation for being buzzy motors, it was still minimally buzzy. It wouldn't dissuade me at all from owning this bike, but just for full disclosure, if there is any nitpick, and I mean nitpick, underline nitpick, quotation marks, if there's any nitpick about this bike at all, maybe it's a little bit buzzy. But man, oh man, Les, you are one lucky guy, and I'm a lucky guy for knowing you and you allowing me to ride this bike. So BMW M1000Xr, man, you guys are really making it happen. Congratulations to BMW corporate. Oh, and I forgot to mention, BMW, if you're looking for anybody to do a long-term test on any of your M bikes, you can put a comment in there and I will respond within 30 seconds. All right. Well, have a great day. Enjoy the ride. Be safe, be fast, be smooth, and we'll see you next time.